Well, hello and welcome. So, today, what am I going to talk about? Well, as usual, my open head has no idea. And I named this, So What's the Point? And then that comes across a lot. What is the point of human design? Well, I think most of us understand it's a mechanism to teach us how to make decisions. And really, it's nothing more or nothing less. And we can make it all sorts of different things. So I was thinking, what should I talk about? We talk about so much of trying to be something better. And we do that lots. And human design is selling us something. And when I went for my walk through the forest, I started listening to the Money Course. And it really got me thinking to, instead of being so, I guess the word I'm trying to look for is mundane, as in, oh, all you got to do is this and all you have to do is that. Follow your strategy and authority. And it boils really down to follow your strategy and authority and where are those decisions coming from. Now, we can always look deeper. Generators, you're here to know yourself. So when you discover this knowledge, there's a million different questions. Start at the basics. Start where you are, who you are, your profile. Understand your design. Understand the gates. And again, there's a lot of different things that can come from that. So again, what's the point? We live in the material world and we have to get by. And that's usually the biggest question when people come into human design. How is this going to help me? How can I make money at this? Now, as you can see, the human design is now in the collective, and the collective is trying to sell human design. And every center is a selling point. And I'll give you a couple examples. And I'm going to do a broadcast later on exactly the money course itself, how it applies to our material world. So let's take the root center, for example. Now, what are we trying to sell from the root center? We're trying to sell the relief of pressure. Remember, that's the not self theme of the root center. So how does this apply in the world of business? Well, I'm going to give you 3 examples of how we sell this to somebody. So let's take a look at the 3 gates that are pointed to the solar plex. And remember, the root center is adrenaline, so it's a pressure. So we're trying to sell the relief of pressure. So gate 41, the gate of imagination. So what is gate 41 selling? Gate 41 is selling fantasy. And selling fantasy is a huge multi-billion-dollar a year industry. And what does that actually mean, selling a fantasy? Well, selling a fantasy is usually selling something that is not attainable. So let's take, for example, the material world. Wear this dress and you're going to be regarded as somebody special. Or get some makeup done because it's going to make you look different. Selling that fantasy of a good example is a diet. and it's take this diet, and if it works, it's gonna fulfill whatever fantasy is coming out of that. So selling fantasies is a huge business. So the 41st gate is about selling those fantasies. Fantasy Island. And remember, fantasies, if you think about it, rarely come true. And that's the whole aspect of selling that fantasy. Just think of a product. Ra used this example of there's a car manufacturer that only produces 200 of these cars a year, but a billion young men dream about, fantasize about having this car, and never ever sitting behind the wheel of one. And it's selling that idea of, yeah, there can be that satisfaction of that fantasy. Now, gate 39, it's a different kind of pressure release. The selling of love. And human design is really good at this, and it's selling the aspect of falling in love with something. And and that's a huge business. Falling in love, romance books, the selling of romance, and the selling of that idea of love. And like anything, that sale equates to millions of dollars. This is how commerce. Somebody says, "How can I sell love?" And with the seventh center being, we were selling self-love and human design. And Ra always said, "Love yourself." And once that love is, well, love is truth. Truth and love stand side by side. So when you love something, you're passionate about it. How does it relate into the business world? Well, it's called brand loyalty. You know, I love eating Kellogg's cornflakes. I've done it all my life. This is my brand, and I'll stand by my brand, and I'll die by my brand. This is what we're trying to sell with that 39th gate. Now, again, these are just small aspects, and I'll see if I can go delve deeper into that in my next series, but I'm just giving you some examples. So gate 19. Gate 19 is all about resources and the importance of knowing that we have abundancy, and that's to trying to think of the word. That's to protect. That's to guard, to make sure those resources don't disappear. So gate 19 is it's selling protection basically, and we can look at that as police departments and armies and food inspectors and all those kind of things. So we're gate 19 is selling that I'm going to protect you so you'll have enough abundancy. And the example is home security. Look how many houses, just go down your block and see how many people have cameras in home security. So somebody sold them the fact, like, you don't have to worry about your security. We'll look after it for $100 a month. We'll make sure you're secure. And that's how that selling aspect comes out of that. Now, these are just a few examples. And again, I was thinking of really what is the point? What was the point for me when I entered into human design, when I got that first glimpse of knowledge where I broke down in tears and said, "Are you kidding me? This is it? Wow." So my 61st gate in my open head which in my 61st gate is unconscious, went, wow, I got an answer. And we got to remember that knowing may never happen. And if we're too distracted about everything else, we sometimes even don't realize we know something because we've been distracted on that knowledge. So the point of human design is to allow your vehicle to run how your vehicle was designed to run, and allow your mind to sit back and not tinker with it. And again, when we look at how this all transforms into your life, because I can picture people with 4 or 5 kids and not enough to eat, or the bills are due, and once you boil it all down and you start understanding, wow, this wasn't correct, and I didn't enter into this correctly, what can we do about that, blah, 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 and start utilizing the knowledge that you have for yourself. So if that resonated with somebody, awesome. And again, I'm going to put together a presentation on the other centers and what they're trying to sell. And it's usually the not self. And think about it. Our not self is the consumer. Because life gives us everything that is required to live. Life gives everything that requires us to live. Only the mind wants more. It's never enough. The roller coaster isn't fast enough. The mountain wasn't high enough. The ocean wasn't deep enough. Blah, 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 blah. Our mind. And when you can sit back and have your mind experience the beauty and the mundaneness of life, that's when the breakthrough comes. So, until then, thank you. Enjoy who you are truly. Unlock the potential that you have. And I will never stop saying this. Remember, this knowledge is for the children. Teach your children who they truly are. Treat them energetically correct. And set them up for success in the coming years, especially after 2027. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you hear, again, hit the like button. And if you don't want to miss these exciting broadcasts, and more and more I'm doing this, the more and more I'm feeling comfortable at doing it. So hit the subscribe button and enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you might be. And this knowledge is for self. Be selfish.